All right, so what I want to talk to you guys about today is basically selling digital products on Shopify. So usually, what I know of when people sell digital products, they either use Gumroad or Teachable or something else. But alternative you could look in towards is actually setting up your own website. Now, the benefits of why you would want to set up your own website is because you might get better fees on credit card processing fees. So a website might take 5%, or not a website, but a platform like Gumroad may take like 5% of your sales. And then if you switch over to somebody, let's say like Shopify and build your own website, they may only take about like 2.9% of your sales plus 30 cents per transaction or whatever the case is. So you gotta think like if you're selling like a 25 or $50 course, on a per course basis, it's not going to seem like a lot of money. It may be like a few cents or even a dollar, but eventually that adds up over time. So what you're thinking about is you're thinking about long term, how much money is this going to save you? Even though it's like a difference of 2% in the long run over a few years, that difference is going to add up. So that's one of the reasons why you would set up your own website and sell on your own website instead of going through a platform like Gumroad or Teachable. Now, another reason why you would do this is because you want to have more control over people's data, right? So with Gumroad, right? Say if somebody places an order with you, now you have access to their email. But what if somebody who was potentially interested in your product didn't place an order, but you weren't able to capture their email on Gumroad because they didn't place an order? So this is why you would have your own website and you would create a pop-up so you can collect these people's emails and then eventually try to convert them if they did not end up ordering at first. You try to convert them eventually by sending them out an email and you're able to do email marketing, or you can even do text message marketing. So that's what I did for my brother Chris. I built him a website on using Shopify, and then now he sells digital products, all his digital products using Shopify. He still uses Gumroad as well, but he just promotes his own website now. And he's been saving a lot on the transaction fees, and I've been able to do his email marketing and his text message marketing now. So now we're able to convert more people as opposed to if we were just on Gumroad. So I'm basically going to walk you guys through what apps you can use to sell digital products on Shopify and how to set everything up, and then some like issues that we ran into that you could potentially fix or not, or that you could potentially fix. So let me share my screen with you guys. Um, all right, so I'll take you guys to our Shopify store, right? So this is the Shopify store that I set up for them. It's called Unbuyable, right? So first things first is you want to create your product, right? So initially, if you're not familiar with Shopify, you have to set up a store, give it a store name, put in your billing information, put in your store details, what you're going to be selling, put in your personal information, and then you set up your website, right? I'm not going to go through that whole process of how to do that. That would be for something else, but this is just kind of after you set everything up already, which you can do, right? So the first things first is when you want to sell your first digital product. So when I say digital product, I'm talking about if you have like a course, which is a video course, if you have some type of PDF, if you have any type of document that's digital, pretty much, you can sell that on Shopify, right? You could be selling vendor list court or a vendors list. You could be selling a workout PDF. You could be selling, actual video course. It doesn't matter. Anything that's digital, you could be able to sell it through Shopify, right? So the first things that you want to do is just add your product, right? So it's just like if you're adding anything else on Shopify, and let's just say, I'm just going to call it a course for now, and then you have your product description, right? So make sure you have a good product description, um, maybe about 2 to 3 paragraphs of what you're selling, and then the pain points that you're trying to solve for people. How does it benefit people, and what could they expect from your course, right? So you'll write your course description here, right? So we'll just say, I don't know, this is a digital course. And then you have your media, right? So your media is what you want your product to actually look like. So you'll add your files. So you'll come here and then you would just add your files, right? So let's just say, I'm gonna just use this picture, right? This podcast picture. So you have your media files. So this is basically what your product picture is going to look like. So whatever your digital product main images, that's what you would just put right here. And if you have more images, you can add them as well, right? And then you have your pricing. So let's just say we're selling at $50. Um, and then I would choose not to charge tax on the digital product. I don't believe you have to, but that's not a for sure answer. But I don't believe you charge tax on digital products, right? And then if you want to, well, if you're doing a discount, you could do a compare price well too. You don't want to track your quantity, right? Because it's a digital product, there's a limited amount of quantity that you could sell. So you unselect this. And then you would also say that this is not a physical product. So this would be unselected as well too. Because if you said it's a physical product, then the customer would have to add in shipping information. You don't want them to add in shipping information for a digital product. All they need to do is add in their billing information. And then usually you wouldn't have variants for a digital product. You would just have your own separate product, right? And then you have your collections as well too. So if you have collections for us, Chris has he has courses on the stock market, and he has courses about e-commerce as well too. So that's when it makes sense to set up a collection. So if he has courses on stock market, then that would go under stock market collection. And then if you have courses about e-commerce, it would go under the e-commerce section, right? So if you have collection, and then he has one about DeFi too. So then you would just select it. So let's just say it's e-commerce, right? So now it's going to pop up under the e-commerce collection. Vendor, you don't really need to say your vendor or your product type. And then if your product was good to go, you would just make it active so people can actually view it on your website. So then after you create it on here, now you have your product, but how do you actually deliver that product to the customers is the next thing, right? So this is where this app comes in handy. But first things first is you just want to create your product first. So let's just say we save that product, right? Um, this app is called Sky Pilot, and this is what's going to allow you to deliver your digital products to your customers, right? So search for it on the Shopify App Store, and it's going to pop up. And it's called Sky Pilot. It's already open right here, right? So this is what ours looks like. It tells us how many deliveries we had. But you always want to go for your settings first, right? So you have your default download limit. So basically what's going to happen is um, the customer is going to place an order on your website. Then after they place an order, what you're going to do is you're going to connect the files to the product via Sky Pilot, and then they're going to be able to download the file. So Sky Pilot, once they realize that that order was placed on Shopify, is going to send them an email. And then once they receive that email, they could access their digital content on the back end. And then Shopify is also going to send them an order confirmation email. And when they get that order confirmation email, they can press view order, and they should be able to view their content there as well too. So there's going to be two separate emails sent to customers that they can access their content from. But um, you have your default download limit. I put it to 100. They say at least 5. We had it at 5, but the issue with 5 is sometimes people may have issues downloading it, and they'll try 5 times. And basically what it's saying is if they try to attempt more than 5 times, then it's going to reject them from downloading it. So we initially had it at 5, but we ran into issues with customers. So I just raised it to 100, but you can raise it to, I don't know, like 20 or 30 or whatever the case is. People don't need that many chances, but definitely give them more than 5 because they may have issues on their end. And you don't want them to not be able to access their content. So raise it to something above 5. So I would say anywhere from like 15 to 20 is probably optimal. I just put it at 100 just to be safe. So now deliver content from orders with pending payment status. I have this selected off. So basically, if somebody tries to order and then maybe you have your PayPal set up and they're doing an e-check through PayPal, that still has a process, right? So it'll be pending until that check clears, which may take 2 to 3 business days. But let's just say it doesn't clear, and it's still pending, and you have that selected, the customer is going to be able to receive the content without them actually paying for it. So I have that unselected. So you want their payment to be successful and to already be fulfilled before you send that out to them. So I have that unselected. Require login is basically if somebody has like some type of login on your website, on your Shopify website, they would have to log in to access the content. So I have that unselected as well too. And then this is just the order status and thank you page. So after they place the order, they're going to be able to have access to that content on the thank you page. It's just going to be a button, and then you could customize your button to whatever you wanted to say. I have it as access digital content. Now, how would you actually go and set up your products, right? So all you have to do is go to products, right? And then the products that you set up, um, on Shopify's end, you're going to be able to access them right here. So as you can see, this product right here that we have called course, which I set up, what we want to do is we want to actually attach something to that course. So people have some type of content they could access once they actually buy that product called course. So you would just go up here in the right-hand corner, and then you would upload your files. So let's just say you had a workout file. This is where, and it was a PDF. This is where you would actually upload that, right? Um, and then you would just upload it right here. So I'll just upload this JPEG right quick, just to give you an example of how it would look, right? So right here it has 100. That means that that's the download limit is 100 times. Now, if you already have files that have been uploaded before, and maybe you sell them on a different course and you want to bundle them, all you have to do is go right here, and then you could connect files that you already have set up on SkyPilot. So like, for example, my brother Chris has a course called Cyber Money, and within this courses are other courses that we sell individually. So we already uploaded these on SkyPilot. So all we would have to do, if we want to upload them for Cyber Money is go in and just connect all these courses that are already separate and have already been uploaded. But if they've never been uploaded before, you just go to upload files, and then you would just upload them like that, right? So it's pretty straightforward after that. So now this is basically what the course, the product is that people will receive once they enter in their email information and purchase the course from you. SkyPilot is going to send them an email, and it's going to say access digital content, and then now they have access to the content that you provided for them. If you have Vimeo, you can connect it with Vimeo. We don't have Vimeo, so we don't worry about that. And then I have this as marked as fulfilled, right? So initially, if it's selected off on Shopify's end, you're going to have a bunch of unfulfilled orders, even though people may have already received their content, because you don't have this selected on this end. But I would just have this actually selected as marked as fulfilled. So you don't get confused on your end, because you'll be like, oh, I have all these orders to fulfill through Shopify, even though people have already received their content. So I have that marked as fulfilled. Make sure that's automatic, right? And that is pretty much it for the products. So as you can see, we have different products, and you could add multiple pieces of content to the product, right? So for example, stock market gems, it has multiple parts. So it has 2 videos, and then it has 2 PDF resources. So these are all the files that people are going to receive if they purchase stock market gems, right? It's pretty straightforward. And then you could just look at all your orders and stuff too. And then you have your files. If you just want to go ahead and upload your files before you actually connect them to a product, you can do that here as well too. And then you would just connect them to the product that you have. So a few other things I'll show you is you have your account, right? I would say you could probably go with the basic plan. We have the advanced plan due to the fact that we have a lot of bandwidth that we're using, but the basic plan, I believe, is like $30 a month, right? And it's going to allow you to have a certain amount of storage, a certain amount of bandwidth. If you need more, you can upgrade your plan. So we upgraded to $75 a month, but you can use the basic plan, $30 a month, if you're not going to be selling a whole bunch of stuff, and that should work for you. And then there's just different things. So if you go over, what you're using, you could notify, or you can get notified. And then they just basically say, how much are you getting charged for the amount that you go over your data usage, or whatever the case is. This is how the email would look if you want to change So when they place their order on Shopify and then SkyPilot sends them the link to access their content, this is how it would look. You can change the color of this if you want to. It's just a button pretty much. Um, but we just had it as blue or whatever the case is. But yeah, so you can change it here, and then you have your reply to email. So whatever you want to communicate with the customers with, it would be your reply to email. You have your subject. So it would say your unbuyable content, whatever your shop name is, will go here. And then you have your title, which is your shop name, and you have access content. You can change it to access digital content or access course or whatever you want it to say. So this is basically what the email would look like when it gets sent to people. And then that is pretty much it that I have to show you for SkyPilot. So now what I'll do is I'll show you a few other things I like to do with Shopify. So the cool thing is you can use Shopify for physical products, but the same marketing skills and tactics that you use for physical products can be applied to digital products. Not every single thing, but a lot of things can. So I like to use Tone, right? Tone is text message marketing. Now, what we can do is we can collect people's phone numbers and then we can send them out text messages anytime we have sales, right? So this is, and then we can also do abandoned checkout cart recovery using Tone as well too. So this is why I was saying that why it's good to have your own website, because you won't get this type of functionality if you're using Gumroad or if you're using Teachable, right? You can't collect people's phone numbers and send them out text messages like this to sell digital products. So this is another good reason to switch to Shopify, right? Now an issue that we ran into is initially when you set up Tone, it's going to tell you to allow people to check out via email or via phone number, right? But you want to, when you first have that set up, it's going to say that to give people that option. What you want to do is you only want to allow people to check out using their email, because if they do check out using their phone number, then there's no way SkyPilot could send them that email saying here's access to your content, because they don't have email, they just have the phone number. So that is one issue that we initially ran into, where people were like, I placed an order but I used my phone number but I didn't receive any of the content, right? So initially when you set up Tone or download it, you're going to have to go through that whole process of creating that abandoned checkout cart recovery. But then once you go through that process, you have to go back through Shopify and then have selected only allow people to check out using email. All right, so I'll just show you how that looks because it might sound confusing right now. Let me get this out the way. All right, so you have your settings right on Shopify, and then what you would go to checkout, and then right here, what Tony is going to tell you to do is have this selected initially when you set everything up. So what you have to do is you have to go back to this and then just select customers can only check out using email. You're still going to be able to recover abandoned checkout carts, or you're still going to be able to do text message marketing, but just make sure that you don't have this selected, because it's going to basically not allow customers to access their digital content. But back to Tone. So the first things you want to do is after you set that up, you go through the whole process of the directions that Tone's walking you through. You're going to create an opt-in button. Basically, an opt-in button is a button on your website to allow you to collect people's phone numbers. Once you collect their phone numbers, then you could send them out text messages, text message campaigns, and then you can thank them for signing up, and then you can send them an initial discount code. So that's going to get them to convert. And the cool thing about digital products is you can offer way better discounts than physical products because the profit margins are so high. So for us, with the physical product with 17th, we could offer people 15% to sign up for our text message list. But with the digital product, we can offer them 20 to 25% due to the fact that the margins are higher. So you want to create this opt-in button to basically start collecting people's phone numbers so you can market to them using text messages, right? So make sure that this is turned on, and then you just configure it. Now, after you configure it, this will be unselected. So just have it selected, and there'll be like select a code. Usually what they'll do is they'll have codes already set up for you, or you could set up your own code, right? So if you want to set up your own code, you have to go to Shopify and then set up a discount code and make sure that it corresponds with the discount that you're offering on your website, right? So we have a discount code called GMBI, which stands for Get Money by Income, and it's for 25% off. So if you wanted to set something up like that, you would just go to discounts, and then you would just create your own discount, and then you would just add all the proper requirements to set up that discount, right? So we have percentage, we have 25% applies to all products, minimum requirements none, everyone. And then this actually should be limited to one use per customer, because we don't want people to keep using that discount code even if they were to buy other products, right? And then you would just save it. And then you could also set it up on Tones, and you don't even have to go through Shopify. Um, you would just select the code, and then they already have codes, or create a new code, and they already have codes made for you. So this is basically the text message that is going to be sent to people once they opt in for text message marketing. They click that button and they provide their phone number, right? So I'll show you how that looks on our actual website. All right, so this is what the website looks. Now, this is the button I have. It has a special gift. So I wrote that to kind of capture people's attention, right? Because if somebody's like a special gift, they're like, what is that? They're more inclined to click on that button, right? As opposed to something very basic. So then it says get 25% off. So I'll just enter in my phone number. All right, get your discount now. So now I enter in my phone number, and then I'll receive a text with a discount code. And this is what the text will look like pretty much. So now this is how you're able to better convert people using a different form of marketing, right? Let's just say they visited your website, but they didn't buy anything, but they received a text with a discount code. Now you can convert those people. And then you configure your form, how you want to look. I have it as a special gift. You can say get 15% off. You could say get 20% off. You could say whatever you want it to say. Just make sure that it's good enough to capture people's attention, and just make sure that these colors match up or align with your website colors, right? So we have like a white, black, and red website. So these colors, we just make sure that these colors match up with our website, right? You don't want things to not be coherent or not to be aligned with each other. So just make sure that these things match up. But yeah, you can figure all these type of buttons and the appearance of how you want these things to look like. So now we collected people's phone numbers. So let's just say, even if we didn't convert people with the get money by income discount when they first signed up, now we can send campaigns to people. So let's just say we're having a sale for 50% off. We collected their phone number. Now we can actually retarget those people to campaign, which is pretty cool. So there's different ways to try to get to convert people, right? So now you have your campaigns, and then you would just be able to create different type of campaigns. And this is what it would actually look like. Let's see if I could show you an overview of a checkout recovery. Let's see if we converted this person. So this is basically just saying all the discounts are being sent to people, but there should be a way where we can see. Let me go to overview. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. So thanks for signing up. Here's a 25% off. Get money by income. Reply to text if you have any questions. What's GMBI? It's a promo code that will get you. So this is Tone's team working on your end, and it's basically converting this customer right here. And then they just say thank you for the code, and then now they ended up converting just based off of that. But it's pretty cool, right? So let's just say you wanted to send people a campaign as well too. It's pretty simple. You just go to create campaign. You have your campaign name. I've been through this before, so I'm not going to walk you guys through every single thing. But you have your campaign name. You have your date where you want to send it out. You can schedule it for a future date. You have your time you want to send it out, and then you have different type of people you can target, right? Opt-in, pop-up customers. are people who signed up on your website. They click that pop-up, they give you their phone number. All customers are customers who've everybody who's placed an order on your website, whose phone number you have access to. You have your engaged customers, you have customers who have never ordered. So maybe you want to try to convert those people. So maybe you might create a special discount code for people who have never ordered, and you may do like a 60% discount or a 50% discount just to try to convert those people. So you can target those people as well too. Then you have smart send, basically saying if you already sent a text out within the last 48 hours to this person, you're not going to text them again because you don't want to bother them, have them opt out. You have your message content. This is basically where you would write what you're trying to sell, what you're trying to market. Hey, we're having a 50% off deal today. It ends at midnight. You would send that there. Um, and that is pretty much it. So that's how you'll send out campaigns to people. But yeah, so this is a pretty cool way to market via text message marketing your digital products. So that's something you want to consider. And then one last thing I'll mention is also doing email marketing, right? So you want to be able to collect people's emails as well too when they come onto your website. So you would just have a pop up for emails as well too. And that's another way to be able to market to people. And this is, like I was saying, another thing that Gumroad or Teachable doesn't offer. You may be able to collect people's emails after they place an order with you, or you can do that. But initially, before, if they don't, how would you end up converting those people or have them getting interested in your product, right? So I like to use Klaviyo. So first things first is you create a sign up form, and this is basically just going to pop up on people's on your website after people met a certain criteria. So you have behaviors, and then you could edit how you want the behavior to look. So let's just say you only want it to pop up if they scroll 50% of your website and they've been on your website for more than 20 seconds. You could set that up. If you just want it to pop up after a certain period of time, you could do that as well too. But you would just create a sign up form. So I'll just edit ours to show you how ours looks. It's very simple, right? I have it as a 10% discount code. So I just have want 10% off, keep in touch, sign up for my newsletter to stay updated on educational content and promotions. They'll enter in their email, they'll press OK. And then after they press OK, they'll be hit with the success message. And then that will basically give them their discount code. And then also, once you have their email, you can create a flow. And a flow is just basically an automation targeting these people saying, hey, thank you for signing up for my email list. This is the idea behind my brand or my website. And then you could also send them a discount code there when you target them with an automated email. But yeah, so you have your different styles of how you want it to look, and you have the actual form. You can change this. You could do text message marketing through Klaviyo as well too. So you could collect somebody's phone number and have them opt in that way too. So you can collect their phone number or email. Me personally, I like to use Tone, but you can use Klaviyo as well too for text message marketing. I've never done it before, but if you want to go that route, you can go that route. Um, and then you have your behavior. So like I was saying, if you want to just show it immediately on the page load, you can do that. If you want to show a loading delay, so you can be like, you want people to meet certain criteria before it pops up. You can say show when visitors exiting the page, show a certain amount of seconds after the page load, show after scrolling, a certain percentage of the page. You can make all these things the requirements that customers have to meet. So maybe the idea behind that is you want people who are interested in your email list. So maybe you'll say people who have been on your page for a longer amount of time are more likely to convert, are more likely to buy from you. So this is why you would have a stricter criteria or higher criteria for them to meet, because you know they're going to convert better, right? You only want people who are interested. So this is why you would go that way. Or if you just want as much people as possible, you would just show immediately on the page load, or you wouldn't have a lot of requirements that people have to meet. That all kind of depends upon what you want to do on your end. But this is how you collect people's emails, right? Now I'll show you some flows that you can use as well too. Like I was saying before, flows are automations, and these come in handy, right? So I would say I recommend 3 flows, right? The most. Abandoned cart, browse abandonment, and then a welcome series. So welcome series is after people signed up for your email list, you're going to send them a welcome series and introduce your brand, um, introduce the idea behind like your courses or your digital content, and just let people know that you're going to be keeping in touch with them, right? So um, you have your trigger. Basically, the trigger is what's going to cause people or what's going to cause these emails to be sent out. So we have 3 different emails, right? And as you can see, we're getting 80% open rate, which is good, 27% click rate on this first email. So it's good that we have a very high open rate. So that means people are interested in, our brand or whatever the case is. But basically what you're trying to do is on the welcome series, you're just trying to introduce your brand, and get people familiar with you. And then you can also include a discount code, right? So this is the first email we're going to be sent out. This will just be the customer's name right here. It's dynamic, so it just kind of depends upon what the customer enters in. And then basically it's Chris, my brother Chris's website. So this is what the email will look like. And we're just trying to give him a quick introduction, right? So this is a flow right here, and it's 3 series of emails that are being sent out. The next one that will be sent out is follow me on social media. So basically, we have Chris's Instagram and his Twitter link, so we can collect followers that way. And then I have another one that says check out some of people's favorite courses, which is the final email. You could add loading delays to these as well, too, right? So where'd it go? So you can add loading delays to these as well too. So for example, like right here, um, you have a time delay. So you would just be able to say like, okay, after a certain period of time, this is when we want the next email to go out. After a certain period of time, this is when we want the last email to go out. And how you would do that is you would just click over here to time delay, and then you just drag and drop it to where you want that to be placed at, right? Um, so I want when people initially subscribe to the newsletter, I want this email to be sent out instantly so I don't have a loading delay. But these next 2 emails, I have 2 days. So 2 days after this first email sent out, this email sent out. And then after 3 days after this second email sent out, this last email sent out. But yeah, so that's a cool flow. And then you also have your abandoned checkout flow and your browse abandonment flow too. So browse abandonment is basically somebody's just looking at a product, right? But you have certain filters that they have to meet, right? So all these 3 things have to be true for them to be sent this email. They have to check out, not started a checkout. They have to place an order, not place an order, or whatever the case is. And then they have not been in this flow in the last 30 days. So those 3 requirements have to be met for you to send about a browse abandonment checkout, or a browse product checkout. I'm sorry, a browse a browse product email. I got that totally wrong. So these 3 requirements have to be met. And the reason why we have these requirements is because if they already started a checkout, they're going to be hit with a browse checkout email. So you don't want to send them 2 emails, right? So we got to make sure that that hasn't happened, because we don't want to send them out multiple emails at the same time. That's very spammy, and it might get them to unsubscribe from your email. Now, the second one is we want them to have not placed an order either, because if they place an order, there makes no sense of saying, did this product catch your eye, if it already caught their eye and they already bought it. So that's why we want to have that there. And then has not been in the flow within the last 30 days. That's just basically saying we don't want to keep sending out emails to people if they've already received an email within the last 30 days, right? So basically all they have to do is view the product and then meet these 3 criteria. And then we wait 15 minutes and then we're sending out, did this catch your eye? And this is basically what it looks like. It's something very simple too. I know you're checking out some courses. If you have any questions, comments, or concern, please feel free to reach out to me before completing your purchase. And then we throw in a discount code to try to get them to convert better. And then this product will actually pop up right here, but it just depends upon what the customer was looking at. And then we have a shop now button. But So there's one more flow I recommend you guys having. I have other flows too, but is the actual abandoned cart flow as well too. So make sure you have that set up. So now where you can find these flows at is you don't have to go through and actually create all these flows. You can just go and edit them. You just go to browse ideas, and then a lot of the most popular flows will be at the top, right? So the abandon cart reminder or the browse abandonment flow, you just basically click on it and set it up, right? And you just go to create flow, and then you just make your flow live or whatever the case is. So Klaviyo already has these things built in. All you have to do is go in and add discount codes or change the copy language to where it sounds like you know what you want your brand to sound like, and better help yourself convert people or whatever the case is. And that is pretty much it. So let me see if I could pull up Zoom. All right. So do you guys have any questions for me? Any comments or anything like that? What's the name of Chris's Shopify again, please? His Shopify store is called Unbuyable.
Nope.
Hold up.
Nope. I have a question about
What was your question? Type it in the chat. How do you find winning products? Are you saying for digital or physical? To find physical winning products, look through the WellScott University, and I go over how to look for manufacturers and stuff like that. But I would just say this: to find a winning product, I would say have something that's profitable, something that has like a specific design audience that you want to sell to, like so you have your specific market you want to target, and yeah, profitability, I said that as well before too. And those are like the two main things you have to look for. Because you could have a product that appeals to a wide customer base, but it may not be profitable. So you might have to spend a lot of money on marketing, and then you may not even end up breaking even. You may end up losing money. So you have to have a product that's profitable. And then you just have to make sure you have a good enough target audience or somebody who you can clearly market to as well too. I have Prophet King already, but do you have YouTube videos or anything yourself? No, I don't have any YouTube videos. I just have the lessons that I teach to the Well Squad. I do have a course that breaks down Shopify apps. It's called Essential Shopify Apps, and you can find it on Gumroad. And that's just basically me going through different apps I like to use on Shopify, how to set them up. So I go through text message marketing. I go through how to set up buy one, get one purchases. I go through how to automatically block fraud orders. I go through just like 6 or 7 different Shopify apps you can use to boost your sales, your conversion rate, automate your customer service. I have a reviews app in there I like to use on Shopify. That's the only video course that I have out. Also, there's a course too about how to outsource your customer service and your order fulfillment if you want to go that way with a physical product brand. But those are on Gumroad if you want to find out about those. Um, how should a beginner get into ecom? So I'll say first, just start off with your research. Hop on YouTube, right, and just look up like the Shopify basics or how to use Shopify, how to get started in e-commerce with Shopify, and then just think about like what product you want to sell. So do your product research, do your market research, find a manufacturer, get some samples made, see if you like the quality of your samples. If that's good, or if your samples are good, then you would go through with like building the website or creating an Instagram page and get ready to start marketing. But yeah, you would just start off with your research about like what product you want to sell, who you want to target, what you want the identity of your brand to be. And you just have to kind of build that out and stick to it too. So if you have a brand identity, I would say don't sway from that and make sure that it's concrete, because that will kind of lead you or provide like the groundwork for the pathway for you to follow, right? And to get people to better convert, because the better story or the better marketing or the better copy you have, the better your sales will be, or the better conversion you'll be. So you don't want to have something that's just kind of like very generic. You want to have a specific identity behind your brand. How do you test your site before going live? So Shopify basically has a password, right? When you first create your website, you have a password that you have to enter in your website. So only you would know this. So you can access that on the back end, but if you want to check it out on the front end, you just type in your website and it'll be like, okay, this requires a password to enter into the Shopify store. You type in that password, therefore you can only access or see the website. And then you would just go on your website and then you would add different products to your cart, go through and check out and see if everything works well, before you just disable that password and make it available to everybody else. And then just test it out, place an order on your website, see if you receive these emails, see if everything looks correct. And then you could just void a refund if you actually entered in, like, if you had a product price and you went in and placed an order, or you could just make the product $0 just to make sure everything works correctly. But yeah, so just make sure that your website is password protected, and then actually, like, go on your website. Don't do it from the back end of Shopify. Just type in your website and then use that password that you created, and then just make sure that everything is good, or whatever the case is. And then once it's good, you could disable that password, and then you could allow everybody else to access your website. Yeah, you can build the website on Shopify. So Shopify is basically the platform that you use to build a website, and it doesn't really require any type of coding knowledge or anything like that. A lot of it is drag and drop. A lot of it is intuitive. But yeah, you just use Shopify, and the reason why I recommend them is because of the apps that you can use, how easy it is to use, how easy it is to figure out, and it makes your website look good too. They have different type of themes, different type of templates you can use, and then you could just like customize those or whatever the case is. I have a drop shipping t-shirt brand on Shopify. I'd love to get your thoughts on. Just message me in the e-commerce chat, and then let me see your website, and then I'll check it out and let you know what I think about. How long until this replay will be posted on West Quad University? It takes a few days, so I'll probably say within 2 to 3 days, it should be uploaded to YouTube, and then you could access it from there. Wait, your whole site can be based off of Shopify? Yes. So Shopify is the platform. Just think of it as a platform that you're using to build websites. So um, there's other platforms you can use too. There's like Wix or Squarespace. Just think of these as ways or things that you can use to build your actual website. So you don't, basically the idea is you don't have to know how to code to build websites. You can just use these platforms. And then what they'll do is they'll just charge you a monthly amount. So let's just say like $30 a month to use their services, or to, use their platform, or whatever the case is, to host your website pretty much. These are website hosting platforms that you can use. What is the best site to use when creating a video to create your digital content? You can use Zoom. Just go to Zoom, and then basically all you have to do is start a meeting and record the meeting using Zoom. Nobody has to be in your meeting though. So you just record your meeting, and then you could pause it if you need to stop, or you can stop the recording if you want to make another separate recording, and then all you have to do is just edit those with like some type of video editing software, or whatever the case is. So if you have like Adobe or whatever the case is, you can use that as well too. So you can use Zoom to record it. There's different other apps and stuff you can use too, or different websites you can use. I just can't think of them off the top of my head, but you could use Zoom and just screen record yourself. That's what a lot of people do. So when first starting, what cost should I be prepared for? Domain cost, Shopify subscription, what else? So yeah, you have your domain costs. I think that's only like $14 a year. Shopify subscription. So that's just basically to use Shopify's platform. So that's going to be, if you have the basic plan, it's going to be $30 a month. You have to also consider the app costs, right? So if you want to use text message marketing, that's going to, I'll say initially when you start off, it's only going to be about like $20 or $30 per month. But as you grow, you would have to use more and it will cost you more, but $20 to $30 per month. And then whatever apps you use on Shopify, if you use SkyPilot, like I said, they have a basic plan, which I think is like $20 a month or whatever the case is. You use that as well too. So just take into account like the different apps that you're going to use. But the cool thing about if it's a digital product is that your margins are very high. So these digital products are going to end up paying for like, everything that you're using. So there's not too much that you have to pay for. The rest will just be marketing, money you spend on marketing. If you want to pay for Instagram shout outs, or if you want to do Facebook ads for these digital products, then you would consider that. But all those, the costs that I mentioned, and then basically marketing is all you have to really consider when having a digital product. You don't have to consider shipping costs or any other thing like that because it's digital. Last thing, for me, I heard you mention in the e-commerce chat. Are you active in there on a regular for questions? Yeah, so just mention me in there. Sometimes I'm not always in there like 24/7 or all the time. But if you at me, it usually pops up on my phone. I get a notification. So my at is EJ, and it'll say like EJ e-commerce. So just add me if you have like any specific questions. But yeah, I go through there, but I'm just not in there like every single day. I'll be in there like a few days out the week or whatever the case is. But yeah, but all right, y'all. I'm about to hop off this, but I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hopefully, you guys learned some valuable information. If you guys have any more questions, just feel free to message me in the Discord. And just make sure that you add me. But once again, I thank you guys and have a good rest of your day.